Hello everybody, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the most pretentious video essay in the world! Over the half-term school break, I watched a plethora of movies, both in and out of the cinema. I began my week by watching All Quiet on the Western Front. It is a truly gut-wrenching, grim and depressing take on the First World War. The fresh and new perspective does nothing to glorify the horrors of war and how it impacts those who fight in them. I then moved on to Glass Onion, a perfectly crafted murder mystery that keeps you on your toes every step of the way. I then went to watch Banshees of Inisherin, the first movie at my local cinema. It tells such a grounded story with brilliant performances, a truly groundbreaking step in indie filmmaking. The same day, I went to go and watch The Fabelmans, possibly becoming one of my favourite Spielberg movies of all time, being a true love letter to the art form of filmmaking. I then went to a funeral and watched The Whale on the same day, a gut-wrenching, somber tale of loneliness that was robbed of Best Picture. I then watched Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and
My name is Darren, and I am not dead.
it's a very different story. The film, on its own, is fine. It's not the worst thing to come out of the MCU, and it isn't the best either. It just rests at a 5 out of 10 for me, personally. Jonathan Majors as Kang carries the whole film. He was a brilliant actor, and Kang definitely has promise in the upcoming Avengers Kang Dynasty. It felt as though Scott's life was really on the line whenever Kang was in a scene. The rest of the film, however, is not good. It all varies on a scale of average and mundane, just bad or boring. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but the Ant-Man films are meant to be comedies, right? So why, in the love of God, is the funniest thing about the movie is how absolutely stupid MODOK looks. There was one actual joke that made me laugh, and it was when Scott gets called Spider-Man, and that was it. The rest of the movie was painfully unfunny. But after a surface level glance, and when you look deeper at the film, you come to realize something. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, represents everything wrong with modern Hollywood. I think we should face the facts here, right? Kang is not a good opponent for Ant-Man. While there isn't a variety of villains for Scott to face in this final jewel of the trilogy, Kang was not the best choice in any regard. And I think we all know the real reason why Kang was a villain in Quantumania. The reason that he was is because Marvel needed to set up Avengers Kang Dynasty. This movie serves as less of a third part and the finale to Scott's story, but more as a, let's set up the big Avengers movie that's 2 years away. They even got rid of Louis and Kurt in this movie, two main parts of Scott's supporting cast. Even Cassie's own mother isn't in the movie. The poster sums up everything. Kang was the main point of marketing, not Ant-Man, and the finale to his story that we've been watching since 2015, the past 8 years. But it was instead a Kang origin story. While there are many MCU haters who only talk about how bad the CGI is, it genuinely sometimes is. And this is the pinnacle of perfect CGI. It was recently revealed that Marvel moved VFX artists from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania to Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And honestly, it shows. Especially in the simultaneously best and worst character in the movie, MODOK. As an adaptation, MODOK absolutely sucks. Remember Yellow Jacket from the first Ant-Man? Of course you don't. He was sent down the quantum realm at the end of that movie, and somehow made him look like a beach ball with arms, legs, and a very small ass. Kang finds him, and builds him a battle suit, where he becomes MODOK, and MODOK looks bad. Very, very bad. Possibly some of the worst CGI I have seen in a movie since Scorpion King. And then you compare that to Wakanda Forever's incredible visuals, especially in underwater scenes. They are simply stunning, and have been nominated for an Academy Award because of these VFX. But Ant-Man was meant to be the big kickoff for Phase 5. So why move their VFX artists to Black Panther? We need to make a good first impression of the new phase. All this does is to show the screwed up method of the Hollywood system currently, and how VFX artists are treated like a piece of chewed gum. The ending of the movie is possibly one of the worst endings I have seen in a very long time of any film ever. Kang and Scott fight in a rather tense fight scene. I was sitting in my seat and honestly thought, oh my god, they're going to kill Scott. A Marvel movie is actually going to have consequences.
You serious?
No, turns out Hope, who, by the way, has done nothing in the movie up until now, saves Scott and traps Kang in the sub-quantum realm, causing the portal to close. Again, I thought, oh, they won't kill him, but they'll trap him in the quantum realm. With all the talk of prison cells will make narrative sense, with the quantum realm being his final prison cell. No! Turns out Cass is a genius and makes a portal in half a minute, causing him and Hope to get back to the real world. And you want to know the worst part of that? The ending that I just described, with Scott being trapped in the quantum realm, was almost the actual ending. Until Big Kevin Feige comes along with a stupid baseball hat and his stupid face and changes the ending. Jeff Loveness, the writer of the movie, stated this. You pitch the ending out. It's a lot of story circles from the old Dan Harmon school of trying to do what feels best for the arcs and all that. And yeah, certainly that's an avenue we discussed, but I think at the end of the day there was no getting around, oh, it's Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm again. And I think that kind of killed it. Except they had already written and filmed this ending! The actors were spotted coming in for reshoots a month before the movie came out. Well, originally we thought that they were just coming in to change minor things. It turns out this is them coming back in to change the ending of the whole movie. 1 month before the film came out. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is possibly the biggest f*** you to the film industry I've ever seen. It treats writers, VFX artists, and filmmakers as products. It does not conclude Ant-Man's story in any way, and feels more like a Fantastic Four film than the final part of Ant-Man saga. All the film serves is to set up another one later. I had to remind myself what a good film was when writing this review by watching 2 stellar films. Keep watching the movies, but the good ones, not the ones that are an insult to the art form of filmmaking. Scorsese, Anderson, Coppola, all film giants of their day that define what made cinema so great and, in other ways, continue to make it great today.
My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp. And somehow, I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage. They say stories like this only happen in the movies. I cannot believe it's happening to me. This is the American dream. Dreams are something you have to believe in. I almost gave up on mine. To all of you out there, please keep your dreams alive.
I need to know that